Right. That should be us started. It's not showing up quite yet. But yes, greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, and today I'm joined by Darkest Light and Vector Maximus, and we are discussing climates and the weather and stuff. And I've been apparently I've needed to avoid reading stuff on the world building section of the Discord server because I can't see what's going on. There's people have been talking about this stuff, which is interesting. So, um, I'm excited to see what interesting things they've done with climate and such. It's a nice piece of artwork as well, I must say. I do like this. It's funny too. I wonder where this is meant to take place.
Alberta.
Yeah.
Looks just
No,
like it, doesn't it?
No, it's not desolate enough for how Alberta's gonna be.
True.
No, this is a picture of a Blackfoot settlement. They're going to be a settled tribe, settled faction. In fact, they will have code of
What?
laws and
Oh,
stuff
I
too.
thought this was Alberta in the modern day.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, this is
Not-
more urbanized than where my grandparents live. So fair
You don't
enough.
see enough random broken down cars for it to be out modern Alberta.
True.
These guys are being so cruel. Come here to talk about climate instead they're just shitting on my province.
Like, get a real name. Call it a state.
Real name. We weren't a country before Confederation. Alberta was just part of the HBC. We're a province. HBC. Alright. We delve into the most hated of all seasons. Wait, we're talking about winter specifically?
Yep.
I told you winter is coming.
Yeah,
Winter
you
is
did,
coming.
and you told me, and they told us last week, so
So yeah, you don't hear about monsoons and whatnot, unfortunately.
I wanted to know, though. Why do they have to make
I
a
was a
dev
little
diary?
disappointed that wasn't there, but the rest of it's fine. The rest of it makes up for it. So keep going.
Do a stream for the Fourth Crusade dev diary for CK3. Oh, they did.
Yeah,
a
that
de-
came out yesterday. They
I
discussed Rome. They discussed reforming the Roman Empire and the Fourth Crusade.
I had been under the impression, based on what they said at the end of the last one, that this week's CK3 dev diary was just going to be flavor stuff that wasn't going to be particularly worthwhile to have a deep conversation about.
Well,
But-
I could tell you that the Fourth Crusade is flavor.
It is flavor, but that's significant enough that maybe I will stream talking about that.
So your stream is lagging.
Screw you.
That's against the law.
You're lagging. I'm perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
Is it just me?
I mean, OBS says things are fine right now, so. Tinto Talks plus Tinto Maps for Poland. Oh, that's right! Yes, Gamal. I need to. Alright. I need to. I need to set that up beforehand because I do want to talk about that. I took a look at that, the feedback. Where is the? It's not as easy to find now for some reason. Weird.
He has a master list, you know.
I don't know how that works. I don't know what that means. What is a master list?
Okay, scroll down a little bit.
Farther down?
Tinto Talks, Tinto Maps, Johan Thread, Sat Building Links Archive.
Right
Sticky.
below the talk.
The middle
It's
middle
the
sticky.
thread.
Tinto.
The middle sticky.
It's the thread directly below Tinto Talks number 28.
It has everything.
This is all does not
There's
have
the normal Tinto
feedback
Talk.
though.
Scroll.
Oh, Tinto Maps, Johan. Okay. No
There you go.
feedback though.
Those are buildings.
Yep. But Oh, there's the feedback. Feedback is listed up here, separate from the other maps down here.
Before feedback.
Oh, they're listed right next to the actual talk. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I'll set that up there, and we'll look at that afterwards, because I'm very happy with what they did, but also sad. It's very funny. Discusses emerging events and emerging historical characters. Okay. Okay, yeah, I will definitely have to look at the CK3 one. I'll plan to do that tomorrow then. Don't you worry. Even if I'm doing it just by myself, it shall happen. All right. But today we're talking about climate in EU5. Oh. Okay. So, ow. I just slammed my wrist into my chair. Let's go. It's so stupid. All right. So
Good
what?
job for masochism stream.
It is. Nothing has happened at work in so long as a security guard. It's been very boring. All I had got to do was catch a fruit thief lately. But so what impacts whether a location has winter or not? Well, I have the wrong headphones on too. I'm just doing everything wrong today. I've got the big fucking bulky ass headset. That's uncomfortable. All right. So, what impacts whether a location has winter or not? Well, primarily it depends on the climate, but also on the time of the year and the level of winter currently nearby. Of course, whether there is winter is different for the northern and southern hemispheres. Every day, each location does its calculations when it should be changing its winter level. Okay, so it seems to be expanding on that EU4, just mild, severe winter stuff. During the course, yeah, there are 3 levels of. Okay, no, it has the same level. It's just there's a little more nuance to it, I guess. Uh, there's no winter, which isn't really winter at all. And during the course of a season, a location could experience all types of winter. We have mild, normal, and severe winters. Okay. What is common for all levels of winter is that they affect attrition for your army. So winters will always kill off some of your soldiers. Always. Those poor guys. There's always going to be some poor souls that die. Pops
Well,
living.
Redland and Valley Forge.
Pops living in climates that regularly experience winters will have a higher demand for fur. I guess warm, not wood though. Do pops not just need wood for fire? I guess. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's something abstracted away, like you aren't taking into account, oh, this is the fuel they use to cook their food and heat their homes. That's just baked into the assumption.
I guess there's just enough wood for that around. You're just like, well, that's just, as you said, yeah, that's just into the abstraction of the people live there.
Because
Yeah.
there is such a thing as too much of that sort of hard mechanics.
Yeah. I can see it being a massive pain if you suddenly need to be like, well, it's a cold climate, so these people need more fur and wood. And then, well, I guess you need the water resource in the hot climates. Just, Food in winter. Food production is severely reduced when winter comes. While pops still eat normally, a mild winter is a reduction of 25%, while severe winters basically reduce food production to 0. So unless there's a lot of food stored in the province, a severe winter may cause starvation in your locations. Very interesting. I wonder, yes. That could be very fun to mess around with. Let's not make this to the level of Victoria 3. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Victoria 3 or Dwarf Fortress. Yes, you all of your dwarves need they've got their very specific needs. Yes, yes. Constructions. One other drawback of winter is that normal and severe winters will impact constructions, and with impact, we're talking about stalling them completely. This affects everything from constructing a building to building a ship. It makes the gameplay experience in a country like Sweden or Norway a bit more difficult, as you have to plan around the fact that you lose several months of the year at times. Yikes. Mansion in Hoodix.
It's warm water port.
Yes. You need your warm water ports, Gib. Gib. uh, hmm. Oh, Mason, not Mansion. Yes, you cannot make that Mason currently because it is in the winter. Requirements in Riga to progress. Yes. They've got all the clay they need, but just you can't because it's cold. But mild winters do not stop the progress. I guess it maybe mild winters slow it, but normal and severe winters normal and severe winters just stop buildings.
Can't wait to play in Greenland,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no.
where it probably never gets better than normal winter.
Well, I guess mild. It must go down to mild in the summer.
This is also during the Little Ice Age. Let's not forget.
But they're saying that you literally can, what they're saying makes it sound like you literally cannot build things in normal or severe winters.
Yep.
So I'm sure that it always will at least go up to mild, so that you're able to build stuff. But
Well, it's possible that some areas you just can't, like, it might not everything might be stopped from constructing, but most things might stop being constructed in that climate or that weather type. So, the depths of Siberia or, the very farthermost north of Norway, I don't know, places that never don't have snow on the ground. Could be some places, but I imagine it'd be pretty small amount of the map. Like the heights of Mount Everest and stuff.
yes, places where it quite literally always has winter. It's an interesting thought. And well, we'll have to see the more nuance in relation to how that actually works, because. But yeah, I imagine that in some places, such as that, Greenland, any places up in the far north of Canada, will and of course, as you mentioned, in the Himalayas, the highest points, they may well always have at least mild winter, which would just add even more to the hellishness of playing in Greenland, where during you can only make progress on buildings during a small section of the year, and even then it's slowed. Pain. Alright. Because I do like the more times I see the UI of EU5, I'm really liking it so far. I like like the way that they've got your icon for a thing and then progress on the thing in a circle that fills up around it. I enjoy that quite a bit actually, because they do this with a lot of stuff. Buildings, they do it with buildings, tech, and like expeditions. Like when you're doing exploration, it's a very consistent UI element that I actually quite like. It's very helps with consistency and readability. But it's always just this circle around an image of the thing. Freezing seas. Narrows, inland seas, and lakes have the possibility of freezing over during winter. Ooh, this can happen when a sea zone has had severe winter for over a week, and will then last until winter is no longer severe in that location. Huh.
Read the next paragraph. Read the next paragraph.
A frozen sea zone can be traversed by armies, and This
The Swedes are on their way to sack Copenhagen.
holy shit! Oh no! 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 The Swedes are gonna march on over. Oh no! Oh. This allows greater military control over the land it reaches. However, it will cause navies to get stuck until it thaws. It just gets them stuck. They just can't leave. Be careful when the weather changes.
Icebreakers. Can we make icebreakers in the later tech periods?
Be careful when the weather changes. It can thaw with catastrophic consequences if an army is on the ice. Navies can also not enter any sea zone that is frozen over. Oh, oh. Yes, failed Northwest Passage expeditions inbound. I can't wait. Yeah. Whoa. Oh. This is 100%. Because dark you all right. I can see I can imagine some of the stuff that you must have talked about in the world building channel now. Because
Oh, I didn't talk about it much. I just did like one paragraph.
yeah.
But if it is possible to mod these to happen via event or decision, and not just on their cyclical winter-based nature, it could make certain aspects quite a bit easier for us.
Yeah, if we could just hope, I don't know, for no particular reason, just permanently freeze a bunch of the ocean, you know, or a lake, or yeah, that's just it's just how it goes.
If if winter will be like, you can't change it after game start, so it'll always essentially reach the sort of same levels it does year in year out, or if it can be altered by certain things.
Yes, I really, if it's possible too, we would definitely we got to add above severe. We need to add another higher tier of winter, for example, if we can do that.
I don't think it gets much worse than severe.
The
Zero, like
The frozen abyss.
Yeah,
what
well,
could you do that's worse than severe? You get zero food, no construction, water freezes. So what's worse?
I'm sure there's ways we could make it worse.
It actively kills off and destroys anything in the province.
I'm sure we could find a way to make a higher tier than tier 3, which is just evil, malignant ice magic that is actively trying to kill you.
I said the frozen abyss.
Yes. And then, yeah, if you follow a
and
certain
how-
religion, then you're unaffected by it. If we can
And how
make that
how
apply.
bad things can get if just 1 year summer doesn't come. It's just winter.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would
Just
love to be able to experiment with that.
famines that would happen.
If we could let like that could add so many potential things for Olwe to be able to do as she progresses
Exactly.
her quest chain towards just phrasing the planet.
Exactly.
Oh, brave Cornish warriors marched across the frozen waters of the Black Sea. No, Evie's here to talk about more batshit ideas. Cornwall. Cornish warriors marching across the Black Sea. Yes, of course.
Cornish don't need to march across anything because they can use their corn-based flotation devices.
Mm-hmm. This is also true. I'm sure that they and then when if stuff does freeze over, I don't know, they're corn-based sleds then, with their vegetarian ski dogs that can pull them. I think it'll all work out just fine for them. Oh. Dark, how much do you know about the modability of winters in EU4?
You can set what it's gonna be, like the various regions are gonna be. So you can set if this area is gonna get severe or whatnot, but that's about it.
You can't change it?
It's all preset, and it'll be the
There's no way that you can in EU4 cause something to change
Nope.
how severe the weather is going to be.
Nope. Can't touch it.
Well, we can only hope then that this will be something
Different.
that you can adjust. Yes. Cross fingies. Climate change, please. Wonder if you could do things like provinces rising out of the sea. I don't think you could do something like that. Because what you can't, like, because you can theoretically have something that causes land to water to freeze over.
But there's still sea tiles. Just because an army can walk on them doesn't mean you're going to be able to settle on them or build on them.
And even the actual just code wise, I don't know how you'd be able to just suddenly turn what used to be a big old ocean tile into a bunch of smaller provinces with actual province IDs and stuff. No, yeah, Cameron, what's been said here is that a ocean tile or a lake is able to freeze over, which will make it traversable. You can walk over it then. You can move an army onto it as if it was a boat. It just becomes like a land tile for the purpose of moving around on it. But no one's going to be able to own it. They will basically, I guess the best way of describing it is they'll become corridors. It is still really, really cool, yes, and I very much hope to take advantage of that and adjusting the severe winter mechanics in general, because I would love to be able to freeze over sections of the map. You enjoy your chicken, Evie. We're gonna move along now. Yes. Delicious chimkin. I'm hungry, so I shall eat a singular grape. Also, it's narrows, inland seas, and lakes specifically that can freeze over if, severe winter happens next to them. That explains to me then why there is so many different places that narrows are scattered around, especially in the north. A lot of those fjords will freeze over. That's going to be interesting. Also, Greenland has a ton of narrows around it, which makes sense now as well. They've actively set those up so that harbors will freeze over. Make a mission tree whose goal is to expand severe winter across the map. That is very much our plan, Cameron. We very much have a playable faction who is very much ice themed and intends to freeze over the entire map, yes. Providing bonuses to deal with winter to the followers of their religion. Playing Norway could be fun, you say? I don't know. If your idea of fun is having half the year your land being your ports being blockaded by the sea freezing over, and if you think that's fun, then that's on you. All right. Gulf of Bothnia frozen over. Winter level severe. Inland sea in Scandinavia. Ah. Okay. Mountains. You already know that warfare during winter is a bit more risky, but Project Caesar adds another element to it. Any location with a topography of mountain will be blocked for army movement during normal and severe winters. Ooh!
Yeah, so basically the Alps get cut off.
Mountain passes, yeah. Mountain passes just don't work. You just actively are cut off for the duration of the winter. Wow. But then what happens if you're sieging it? What?
I'm assuming you get snowed in and you can't move.
Holy shit, that's terrible. Oh no.
That means you're probably taking massive attrition until you can get out.
Normal winters too. Just any normal winter, as long as it's not mild winter, you cannot move in those. So, oh my God, getting snowed in, you probably take so much casualties. Oh, I'm so excited for this. This is.
After Switzerland time.
Hey, Switzerland has a lot of plateaus.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
plateaus
it's
and
all
mountains.
surrounded by the mountains.
They're mostly surrounded by the mountains on their plateaus, yeah, but they do have some lowlands that connect out to Swabia, I think. But the point is still, it's gonna just be whack trying to make your way around, and zone of control too. Yeah, you literally just
Yep.
won't be able to get in to Switzerland because yeah, the zone of control will block you from going through those navigable terrains. But Swiss can leave. That is so cool. Finally, a great reason to start war during the summer. Yeah, because you need to go and march across the mountains before the snow hits. You need to fight. You need to fight in the mountains in the summer, in the spring and summer. You need to fight in the mountains once the snows have subsided, and you need to assault and capture the fortress before the winters come back, so that you can secure
And
the
before
pass.
the harvesting season, because if you've got levies, I'm assuming those are pulling from the people that would be tilling the crops otherwise.
It's the cascading effect of famine. Yep, you've got your army raised in winter, your levies are raised, so they're not so your levies are no longer producing that limited food and are instead dying in the mountain pass while their family is starving at home. Oh, jeez. Um, yeah. Well, we've got yes. I've got the Discord server linked in all of these streams. The description of these streams. So anyone who wants to join that and get involved in our conversations about this planned mod is welcome to at this early stage. But keep in mind, EU5 has not been officially announced yet, and we have made no official announcement of the mod either, even though I talk about it with folks on the stream.
We're not making an official announcement of the mod because apparently people are talking mad shit about that on the EU5 subreddit, and they
That's
have a
right.
point.
What?
It's way too early to make an official announcement.
I thought Joffrey said we'd be doing it next week.
Yeah, you're right now. Let's go. Yeah. Good afternoon, Ryan Nixatus. Yes. Yeah, we won't be making any official announcements related to it until we need to have a logo solidified first of all. We need to have we need to have a lot more of the lore sorted out, and the biggest one, I want to have a proof of concept how a map have been created in either CK3 or Victoria 3 that I can show off to people to prove that it's not just all talk. Then I will consider it worth doing. However, I also don't think that even with all of those conditions met, I would make such an announcement at this stage of EU5's development. Mm-hmm. Say rain? Sure. Oh, that's right. It's your Starsky. I forgot. Yes. Yes. Well, I will call you Rain then because it is much easier. I see. I see, Cameron. Yes, you are another one of the folks who intends to make an EU5 mod. There's going to be lots of people. I know there's lots of people that want to. So it is definitely, I feel, a good idea to try and prototype something of that sort in one of the newer Paradox games. Project Imperator Roams, it seems as good a possible one to do that in as any. In fact, that might be a better one than either CK3 or Vic. Now that I think about it more. All right, I'll have to give that some serious thought. But continuing along. Yes, yes, thousands of years worth of lore. Oh, it all needs to be so detailed.
1,000 years, I'm free.
Yeah, yes, it is the last game Johan worked on, and he has talked about a lot of. There are a lot of elements of EU5 that seem to be taking from Imperator as much as anything else, and it does have pops, so that's an important thing to note. You can simulate that.
Yeah, it seems like Johan has taken everything he has learned from both his own games he's worked on and all the recent Paradox releases and basically thrown them together into the blender, and EU5 has come out.
Now that I think
Project Caesar has emerged.
Now that I think about it, Vector, even the buildings, even the building system is as much influenced by Imperator as it is by Vic 3. With their nature of, you have this list of buildings you can make and you just up the number of buildings there. It's the production methods that are the main thing that's taken from Vic in that regard. Hey, there's a lot of good inside Imperator. Imperator is a jank game, but it's a lot better than it was before, and it's sad what happened to it, really. So yeah, you missed the last like 25 minutes of the stream. Yes, unfortunately, that was like the entirety of the dev diary. It's not a very long dev diary. So yeah, unfortunately, there won't be a Tinto talk next week. There is holiday stuff. But next time they will be talking about Rose, development, prosperity, and more. I'm very keen to see that. Give the heart eyes, yes. Yes, I do believe that Imperator Rome would still be supported if it launched in with Marius. I agree with that. It is in such a good place by comparison ever since. It's so sad, but the more I have not been let down by almost anything at all. I struggle to think about anything that I've learned about EU5 that I feel let down by. Meanwhile, Imperator was a constant string of just I don't know. But important things to catch you up on, Rain, is that they've kept the same levels of winter. You've got no mild, normal, and severe winters still. However, important things to note: armies cannot move into locations. They can, I guess, they can't move into, but that implies they can leave. That implies they can leave if they're already on them, I guess. The armies cannot move onto a mountain topography during a normal or severe winter. Also, this is also, lakes, narrows, and inland seas can freeze over and become traversable for armies and untraversable for navies during severe winters. So you could quite simply just walk over a bunch of lakes and other bodies of water in the north of the map. And I very much intend to make good use of this. There's a lot of things that Dark and I are going to be eagerly waiting to see how much we can take advantage of it for our own mod, yes. Seems that this is the 4th holiday in Spain that falls on a Wednesday. Yeah, what? They keep having these Spanish holidays. Curse you, Tinto. Paradox Tinto is just always busy with their holidays and... Imagine losing your entire army as it unfreezes midway through your march. Yeah.
Just time it better. Easy.
You guys we're talking about abusing the AI with it, and I could very much imagine that you could mess up the hell out of the AI in regards to both getting them to move onto ocean tiles or and then unfreezing it, or having them uh move onto a mountain and then taking a ton of attrition and then leaving just over and over again, baiting them with your armies or some such thing. But let's read through this a bit. There will not be Arctic sea zones that are always frozen over. Some sort of.
Which is so sad.
Yeah. Well, that's for us to do instead.
I mean, I imagine it should be possible in the climate map to set something so that this region always has severe winter.
I'm sure. Even if it ends up being not something that you can change post game start, I bet you can choose to have it that way already. Because I would very much be interested in having some always frozen over lakes, or some sections in the northern parts of the map where you have land masses connected to other land masses by always frozen over narrows. Imagine a destroy ice button. uh. Wish that winters didn't reduce food production. Are there being specific harvest times? Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, specific harvest times during the year with massive food production, almost nothing at the other times. Yeah, that sounds very good for performance, as Johan's bringing up. Yeah, that's
Really?
yeah.
Different food have different seasons. He mentions that himself.
He says that different foods, different food
performance
resources.
calculations, and also different food has different seasons.
I'm so dense. How did I not read that?
Yeah.
Different foods have different seasons. So different food will be affected differently by seasons. So like animals, I guess, will be affected differently.
Well, livestock you could do any time of the year. It seems like fruit, I think, that you harvest earlier, but then grains you harvest in autumn. I don't remember what the cycle was. I know there was something. It was like beans or something that are mid-year. Fruit are like mid-year. I don't remember precisely.
Rain, yes. Ice fishing, you're right. You're right. You need to have. I mean, surely that's a thing. Surely there's a way that works where you can fish. Like I bet fish would be one of the ones that is less impacted. Because I bet, like severe winters and
That's
such
the least impacted
would be just devastated. You just can't. You make no food from like harvesting crops in the winters, but you could still fish.
It's usually livestock that you'd be eating during winter time, I believe.
Yeah.
You'd slaughter like a goat.
What I'm saying is like you'd probably have livestock being basically unaffected by it and just producing less overall. Meanwhile, fish would be an example of something that is what I'm saying. Fish would be an example of something that would be affected but still be usable. Is what I'm getting at, even in the winter. But Siberian fish industry. We got EU5 winter before Winds of Winter. No, 13 years, no! Yeah. Plans for storms, but they're not talking about the monsoons yet. I don't. I in regards to your question though, Cameron, I really don't know. We don't know enough about the modability of winter. and other seasons and the like yet to know how much you'd be able to mod in fantasy elements to that sort of thing. But the fact that they're talking about random hurricanes. Yeah, I mean, someone's asking about like monsoons and random hurricanes. There's plans for storms. If they've got plans for storms, then maybe there will be some interesting, fantastical phenomena you can make happen based on seasons. If two hostile armies meet in a frozen sea zone, they'll just fight. They'll just have a normal fight. Like, yeah.
And if the fight lasts long enough for the ice to melt, everybody dies.
I guess. Oops.
I imagine someone will retreat before that happens, though.
Surely the AI will be programmed to be smart enough to choose to retreat. The swim button. Yeah, of course, yeah. There's the toggle swim mode for your army.
Yeah, your whole army can swim, including the horses and the cannons.
Winters are more likely to make sieges fail as your army may dwindle. Yes. Unsurprising there. Yeah.
Yeah, levies don't recover from attrition.
They don't, yeah. Your levies only come back if you return your army to your lands, disband them, and then raise the levy again. And we don't yet know what the consequences of raising a levy is. So there may well be reasons you would not want to do that. Probably takes a lot of time as well, because it sounds to me like we're getting the whole raise levies in your different provinces thing that CK2 and Imperator had, where you need to choose to levy from regions and then bring your levies together. So, yeah, I am very excited to get my hands on this system where your armies are based on pops, and you're going to need to deal with the fact that, I don't know, for example, as France, you own a land full of so many different pops of different cultures, and we don't know how much you tolerate those various cultures. For all we know, most of those cultures may be not tolerated very much by you until you've assimilated them or actively taken the effort to accept them. We don't know how that system works yet. But what we do know is that unless you pass a specific government law that makes you have less levies overall, but gives you more levies from unaccepted cultures, if you keep blobbing and expanding over more land, like if you're probably going to be in a situation where if you are constantly going and conquering people, you're constantly going to be reducing the numbers of your primary pop as your main accepted cultures keep getting depleted from these wars. And you keep bringing in more people that you don't accept into your country, which will make you more unstable. And eventually you might decrease the number of primary pop locations that you have as people move around and such. So I'm very curious to see how that sort of thing works. Same with like the impact it has on your nobility and such. Like what will happen if you've got a region that is split, for example. Imagine you've got a region that it's like on the periphery of your core. It's split between your primary culture and a different group. Say like Spain. Yeah. I know this isn't exactly on topic for this, but it's an interesting tangent for me to go on. The fact that if you are Spain and you're conquering Andalusia, you're going into Granada, a lot of that area down there is mixed between Andalusi and Castilian culture. So if you raise levies and keep fighting with troops from that area, the nobility is probably going to take a lot of casualties from those knights and such that keep going off to fight. and they die. So you may be in a situation then where these upper class people of your primary culture are getting replaced with people you don't accept as the gaps get filled. Maybe. I don't know how that works, but I'm curious to see if that's a thing that happens. See, I like spitballing too. A lot. And Vector doesn't like it. So, I will continue along. Building bridges on rivers would be cool. Best part is the indirect buff to defensive play. Everything in this game so far is making it more viable. Joffrey pants are an illusion. What? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Shirt too. Oh. Oh. All right. But yes, I do enjoy the fact that this makes defensiveness in certain regions more powerful. It's much harder to go around conquering stuff in like trying to conquer Norway. I imagine is horrible. As you're implying, Rasak, with just the fact that Norway is so full of mountains and it's going to be well, yeah, Russia's going to be horrible, of course, but one of the biggest things I'm thinking about is Norway, because Norway's not as big as Russia, but it's so full of mountains and going to be lots of severe winters and Arctic terrain. So also a lot of stuff is going to freeze over too. So you're trying to invade, you literally won't be able to move around a bunch of the time. Yeah. Tons of attrition. Yeah, Evie, it was also you. There's a lot of people who are saying things. I'm sorry for not acknowledging you. Head pats all around. Hmm. Climate has a maximum winter level. All right. So climate is going to be the biggest thing that affects that. Hmm. Hourly ticks make you feel this much more. Hmm. Okay. Just the opposite. The summer is too hot. Instead of winter giving you penalties, yes, it's instead too hot now. Yes, I agree. That makes sense, I suppose. We don't know. I mean, I don't think unless they answer the question in regards to um, cultures getting buffs to dealing with the winter. I kind of doubt it, but I would really like it because that would imply that we can make cultures moddable, please. You want infinite weather? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that's something we can do. I hope that it is, but there's a lot of this stuff that when it comes to how moddable it is, we just don't know yet. What happens when a navy is stuck on ice? Oh, so the idea is a navy stuck in the ice and an army moves onto the tile that the army could capture the ships. Like the Den Helder incident, where French troops captured Dutch ships. Oh, well, that's interesting. But they're not sure if that's actually been coded in yet, but that's the intention. I like that a lot. That's really cool. Ah, yes, the Hyperborea tag with no negatives in the winter. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm, zones. Separate thing. Does C zones being able to freeze over mean that the code will allow for dynamic map changes? Yeah, it's a separate thing. Definitely a separate thing. That is not something that's all that complicated by comparison. Yeah, I'm sure that your army getting killed by melting ice would be pretty rare, because there'd only be so many places that can freeze over.
Most important question: will autumn look pretty?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like it, yes. Johan would like that to be the case. How far along are they with the graphics of this?
Which makes me think that it might not even be 2025, Joffrey.
No, Dark, no. Don't say that. Don't say it. It's been so long since EU4 released, man. It was so long ago.
Hey, don't get your hopes up and you'll never be disappointed.
I want to get my hopes up for this, though. I'm so done with EU4. The more I learn about this game, the less I want to play EU4. This all of these Nintendo talks make me so disillusioned with it. It just makes me want it to be over.
Games to play in the meantime, like Civilization 7.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait to play Civilization 7. It gives me more time to write the lore. Yes, it gives me more time to write the lore.
To work on realms.
No. No.
True, keep working on realms, Joffrey.
No. I don't wanna. Why would I work on more on realm stuff when I could make an entire province map for a mod that hasn't even been officially announced yet?
I think you should do a realm stream. Realms modding stream, Joffrey.
But we don't even have anything in the Norwegian that's worth showing. It's like...
Hey, we gave you a suggestion yesterday.
Yeah, I guess actually modding something. Not that that would be something in the new region either, though. Or, well, I guess it is in the new region, because
Yeah, it
Thumbnails
is.
the new stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's literally...
We've got the struggle in now.
Yeah. Oh, that's true as well. Mm-hmm. Mountain forts will be siegeable during the winters, but is it a good idea? No. Player slash AI army pathing, try to avoid routes that take winter attrition. Be a shame if my retreating army took a shortcut through Hoth and died on the way home.
Died on his way back to his home planet.
No.
Alberta.
Yes, the hurricane and monsoon season will be talked about in a different month. Oh boy.
So sad, gamers.
And graphically in terrain, you will see the ice change over time. Yes. Beautiful. Travel time for trade is worse, of course, yeah. When stuff can freeze over. Control slash proximity propagation is far worse when stuff freezes over as well, I'm sure, yeah. It'd be much harder to get maritime presence when that happens. Makes trade less affected by winters when you build roads. That makes sense. Yeah. Talk more about monsoons. So severe winter does sometimes happen in some climates, and some places, like Arctic climate, is guaranteed weeks to months of severe winter. Okay. So it is variable. They did mention up above as well that it's sometimes some of it is somewhat variable and random. So there are chances of severe winter happening. It doesn't always happen in certain climates, which is interesting. Because then you can have it so that sometimes certain sections of the map will get like places that freeze. They won't always. Yeah. So yeah. Yep, winter will reduce control. Makes sense. Armies can walk in. Armies can walk on frozen lakes. Finland's natural eastern borders are at risk in the winter. Then again, I'd not attempt a campaign in Finland during the winter either. Yep, yep. Uh, yeah. I like the question. Can we walk from Kamchatka to Alaska? Yeah, the Bering Strait doesn't necessarily freeze over enough. As funny as that would
You
be.
saying I can't migrate my Siberian tribe into Alaska?
Yeah, I wanna migrate my tribe over the Bering Straits, just like they would have done ages ago.
Yeah, you need to take your Blackfoots into Siberia, right?
Yeah, it's my plan, right? And what else was I gonna do? I gotta migrate them across those ocean tiles.
Yeah, it's the only way to escape the colonizers is to become a colonizer yourself and colonize Siberia.
Yes, yes.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Will traversability of provinces be moddable by effect/events too, not just by winter? Currently, it's a winter code check. So currently, it specifically checks for the winter.
Can we make... Yes, it's a winter code check, but can we alter the winter code mid-game, or is it start of game only? Can we cause winters to happen via events? Because that's just the traverse ability. That's not the winter effect itself.
I'm gonna give it a respectfully disagree for now. That's something that's locked to winters. But I very much would like to. Hopefully, there's a way that you can apply that effect with something other than checking for winters, and I want to be able to change stuff. Yeah, but Johan's not giving me much hope here. He's not giving me much hope that this is something that can be changed mid game. Hmm. It sounds like this is something that would definitely, if if they do end up having terrain be able to change, like climates being able to change over time, that sort of thing. If they get that code working before release, that sounds like something that would cause them to make this be more moddable. But I just please, man, I don't care. Please, please. Your Hearts of Iron player primarily coming to look at EU5 from a very different perspective. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Hmm. Because you're thinking Rain from the perspective of like making mountaineer regiments, for example. uh, and I mean CK3 has units that are able to get bonuses from uh, winter bonuses or penalties in the winter, but I'm not confident there's going to be much of that in this. We'll have to see though. Maybe there's possibility for some units to be affected by it differently, but I kind of doubt it. I'd really like for that to be that would be the case though, because again, when it comes to modability, there are some factions that I would very much like to, instead of being penalized in the winter, gain bonuses in it. Tunisia should have a special exception for moving through the Alps in winter. Yes, as long as their elephants get extra attrition, exactly. Yes, trade might get rerouted for higher cost if there's a cheaper path, but they will transfer far less goods otherwise. Makes sense, makes sense. Camel knights with buffs in the desert? Exactly. You get it, you get it. Alright. With that, now we can take a look at the we could take a look at the feedback that was given to Poland, Ruthenia, and the Baltic. Um,
Epic.
mind you, most of this, yeah, there's spoiler list of changes. Um, most of this is just yeah, there's lakes, a wasteland. Most of this is pretty small stuff. Them dotting around little
Also,
lakes
they
here and there,
look
but,
at what they did to Lithuania. There's so many more vassals.
that is another one of the things they did, though. Yes.
So Silesia is a mess.
The Livonians have made Riga a lot more. There's a lot more continuous land owned by Riga, so it's more readable, I guess, which is fair. I'm 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 down for that for sure. It actually looks like the Teutons have less land owned by their subjects. Mind you, the Livonians are one of those subjects. The feudalism of the Teutonic Order is just beyond confusing because you have the Teutonic Order, and then below it you have all of these factions inside the Teutons themselves. Then, but they also have Livonians as a subject, and then underneath the Livonians you have Riga. So it's a couple tiers of separation, and then Riga is also, I believe, a part of the um what is that organization? There's that trading cities coalition thing. I forget what that's called, but yeah. The Hansa. Yes, the Hanseatic League. Riga is also part of the Hanseatic League. So Riga, big confused. I can't wait for the North America map. Yes, rain. Yes, I need to see my Blackfoot. You see, I'm going to keep talking about it over and over again, and then eventually Paradox
You're
devs
gonna be disappointed.
they will hear me and make the Blackfoot strong. They'll make them
Then you can
strong.
be upset when they're not.
No, blood tribe strong. Blood together strong. Kai and I
summer child.
powerful. I'm gonna I'm gonna be the only person that they get any just input on regarding the entire Canadian prairies. It's just me talking about Kai and I in the Blackfoot. Well, here's the thing, Rain. If you didn't see when they were talking about their like landless countries and stuff, different kinds of nations, it looks like there's probably going to be very few countries that are playable in the Americas. Be in Central and South America, the Inca and what is that country? What is the culture group called? I forget. I forget the
Quechua?
Quechua. Yeah, the Incan and wait, Quechua's. I swear Quechua was the Inca one. I don't know. The Aztec, the culture.
Wait, oh yeah.
The
Oh
Az,
no,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Nahua is the Aztec.
Nahua, yeah, the Nahua and Quechua cultural groups are advanced enough to the degree where they have settled countries, but outside of that, there aren't going to be many. Like a lot of the Plains natives are going to be probably not even considered settled. They won't be considered settled countries. Almost any of them. You'll have like the Iroquois probably being considered a settled country, and that'll be like the only one in all of North America. And outside of that, you'll have a few tribes. Like you'll have a few like named tribes that like people remember from like you, you, how to explain it? You'll have like the Cherokee and like when you think about the United States and like the native tribes that stood up to colonization more, you'll probably have people like that be showing up and be considered societies of pops but other than but societies of pops probably aren't even going to be playable on release. Yeah, Gamal, I don't even think you're gonna have many be army-based countries. I don't think we're gonna have like the Cherokee being an army-based country, because this is, mind you, this is before they even had the horses. And based on their criteria for what they even need someone to be for them to be a society of pops, most Plains natives aren't even that. Very few Plains natives would even reach the categories required for them to consider them a society of pops. Like, to be honest, the Blackfoot, I don't even know. Like, I gotta do my research. I don't even know if my Blackfoot boys would even be considered a society of pops by this game standards. Um, because yeah, the VOD about the unsettled pops. The Mongols are an army-based country. Like hordes are army-based countries. Um, yeah. All of the settled nomad, all the steppe nomads will be army-based countries. Not settled, but they can become settled. The Yuan would be very much settled though, not army-based countries. Um, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be looking good at all for natives. I'm sorry to tell you this, except the Quechua and the Nahua. I think that if you're playing as Aztec or Incan countries, you're gonna have a lot of time before people show up. And based on the fact that there's like actual mechanics based around the plagues, I think that you're gonna be able to do stuff to prepare as a player and actually try and survive to stand up. But the AI is just gonna get rolled probably, especially the Aztecs, because the Aztecs kind of set themselves up for failure. Unfortunately, they should have known that the Europeans were coming and based their country around the meta that would have been able to resist them.
Yeah, that would have worked better for them.
Why didn't they just know? They should have like researched that the Europeans were going to show up instead of
converted
basing.
to a religion with better bonuses.
Yeah, they needed a religion with better bonuses and that didn't require them to be split up into small city states that constantly have to fight each other every time there's a new ruler. Like,
You see, if it had been Texcoco that formed the Aztecs instead of Tenochtitlan, they actually would have gotten stronger ideas that would have made it where they would be able to defeat Spanish troops.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should have just gotten rid of the whole Doom counter shtick.
Yeah. That was a big mistake right there. But among the interesting things they've changed, Kiev is bigger now. I'm happy Kiev is bigger, but also the sad thing, so good thing for me, I like Kiev is bigger, but it's also under the Golden Horde now.
Yeah, the Golden Horde's domains have expanded significantly.
It's really big now. Yeah. They already had Lich Valenia underneath the Golden Horde, but now they've split them into two, and they've also got two different cultures, as we'll see. But they've
got more than two cultures. They've got about 1 billion cultures now.
There's so many. All right, but yeah, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania looking disgusting as usual. But I'm sure I want to play this. I want to play this so badly.
Is that your first game?
Yeah, first game. First game, Grand Duchy of Lithuania. We're bringing paganism back. I want to enforce my pagan religion on all of the Rus princes that you have subjugated. All right, Rain. All right, we'll move along to the culture map then. We'll move along to the culture map because. Okay, but I'm also wetlands. I'm very happy. This is another thing. I'm very happy that they chose to go with they changed their mind about wetlands, because before it was marsh. Now they've gone wetlands instead of it being marsh. So it applies to a lot more types of terrain. So there were a lot of people that were saying that this region should have had a lot more wetlands. And now that that's actually the term they're going with, it actually applies. And I'm very happy to see this, because this will make a lot more interesting differences in gameplay for different regions instead of just being so flat, just flatlands everywhere. But yes, here is the culture map that they have changed.
Western Baltic.
We do not have Western Baltic anymore. It is gone.
I know. It's sad.
Honestly, why did they get rid of the best culture? It's honestly, I think I no longer believe in this game.
Shut your ass. I need to.
That's right, though.
Honestly, I'm going back to March of the Eagles 1.
I need to bring it. So compare this image. This was the first image we got of the culture map. So we had big Ruthenians, huge Ruthenian culture everywhere, and absolutely chongus Polish as well. This was big Polish. And now, also Severian got split up. You got Smolenskin. Severian got split into a few as well. So Ruthenian got split into 5 cultures.
At least 5 cultures. We can't see what's farther to the east.
And honestly, imagine being called a lesser Pole.
You're
already
this.
Polish, man. You're lesser.
Poland got split in
Polish and Greater Polish.
Polish got split into 4 cultures, and one of them is Greater and the other is Lesser Polish. Yeah. Oh. It's fantastic.
I guess you could say one region has Greater Polish and one has Lesser Polish.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, like, they actually refer to the regions as Greater and Lesser Poland. So
yeah, they're based off the historic region names.
I kind of hope that we're gonna have some nuance around uniting cultures. This is the thing. Because there's situations in history where cultures split up. Like, we've got the Dutch, who start out not being called the Dutch, but then they split out of being Lower Franconian into, later on, like, as the game progresses, they're going to split into Flemish and Dutch. But I hope, for example, that we would be able to make Greater Polish and Lesser Polish unite. I'd like to see a bunch of these cultures be able to confederate somehow. I don't know how that would work.
Unite their cultural unions.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't wait to see someone make a modern day mod where every state in the United States is its own culture. And it's the same for every province of Canada except Alberta, because it's not important enough, so it just has the BC culture.
You take this Alberta slander. We are the best prairie. We are the best prairie province. Listen, after the end even recognizes it, after the end for CK3, they gave Delft County, out of all the rest of the prairies, is just nomadic, useless tribal holdings, but they gave Delft County a temple holding to represent the fact that Delft County has the highest number of churches per capita in North America. Now, don't worry about how they achieved that. It's definitely not because there's only like 15 people that live there.
Like it's what it is.
You people are so rude. Delft County needs to be respected. Because listen, it's got a stupid number of churches, but yeah, there is like barely anyone lives there anymore. So it has the highest per capita number of churches at the cost of having no people live there. So,
well, I suppose any spin to get a win.
Exactly. Reject a Low Franconian, return to Frankish. Yes. Wonder how formables work. See, that's a big thing that I'm interested in, Rain, because we know that See, in EU4, it's a special thing that you either get from a policy.
Heritage or
You
policy.
you either get. Well, I'm talking about like creating client states. Creating client states is something that you either get from a policy earlier in the game, or a just a later game technology. The ability to just look at a county and say, all right, this country is going to exist now. Um, just here's a new tag. In EU5, new tags are going to be able to just exist. They'll just pop into existence. You can just look at a spot and be like, you know what? I don't like control. I don't want to have to control this county myself. It's too far away. I can't control it effectively. Pop. There's a vassal there now, and we don't know how much control you're going to be able to have over that, but we know that at game start, anyone is just going to be able to say, "Yep, here's a new country. They exist." Do you get to name them? How does the AI do this? Does this impact rebellions as well? Does this mean that you'll be able to have a situation where there is no tag of lesser Polish, but lesser Polish people can be like, I want to leave, and then they can just make a new tag? And then how does that tag get named? I'm so curious about all of these things. I really want to know, and it's such an exciting concept, though. Um, Can you play as released states? I mean, you could play as anyone. I don't see why you couldn't. I don't see why you can play as the motherfucking Knights of Calatrava in Spain. So yeah, I think you can play as a released subject in EU5 if you can play as like the Medici banking family.
I'm getting called by somebody, so I'm going to have to dip a bit early.
Okay.
So
We're probably wrapping it up.
Yeah, we are. I'm going on a bit of a tirade here. But see you later. Thanks, Vector. Bye.
Bye-bye. That guy.
Thank goodness he's gone. Wow, I thought he'd never leave. I had to rant about the polls for so long before he'd finally leave. Just, how long until we ban him, Dark? I don't.
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you. Jeez. There's a bunch of polls, and by a bunch I mean there's 2 active polls on our Discord server, and the polls were very happy. I was very unhappy. I don't know what the heck these cultures are, but like look at these. Polesian? What the heck is a Polesian? What is a Pol? This makes it sound like they're Poles. They're not Polish. What is this? Polatskian, where my Belarusians at. It's Polatskin. But anyway, they have blown up the cultures in the East even more. Though Novgorod doesn't look like it, based on the way that the name Novgorod, hasn't shifted at all. It looks like they haven't adjusted that yet. But they did change Severian, because Smolensk didn't exist as a culture before. So they blew up Severian as well as Ruthenian, which is always fun. First playthrough is still kicking the Danes out of Estonia. Well, now you've got to play the Curonians, obviously. Screw that. You gotta play the Curonians and kick out the Livonians. But then again, Estonia, because they start as a subject, yeah. I think, no, they don't. But I think you sell it to someone? I forget how that works. I think there's an early game thing where Denmark can sell Estonia to someone. I don't remember who or why or for how much. But I guess you could play as Osel. You could play as Osel. They're probably Estonian. Though they might be ruled by Livonian knights. I actually, no joke, playing as the Grand Duchy of Lithuania is something I would genuinely consider for my first playthrough. That is very much something I'd be. Yeah. Listen, guys, you gotta take me seriously. I, with all my heart, I have always wanted to play as a pagan, and this is my chance. Actually, I just noticed this. What the heck is going on in the what the Sigma is going on in Bohemia. They have there's two Silesian countries that are not subjects of Bohemia. How can this be allowed to stand? No, Rain. It's the Lithuanian-Polish Commonwealth. That's what it's going to be. We're going to make the Lithuanian-Polish Commonwealth. And it's going to be pagan. Will be fun to see me play 10 plus nations at the same time for the first playthrough. I appreciate it. I really appreciate all the good vibes you're sending my way, Razak. I do need to play so many different countries. I'm gonna be lost in the sauce, and that's a sad thing because I'm gonna want to code stuff when a game comes out, but I also want to play things. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna need to start drinking coffee. But yeah, there's not much left to be said about this. I mean, there's Romuva. I guess that's neat. I think they've changed a bit of the Romuva, like where it covers. I don't think it used to go up into Curonia or west into the Teutons land so much. Huh.
Remove grow.
I also don't know who won this war. I don't know who, like, what the canon event result of this Game Start war between Lithuania, Poland, and the Orders is. Because when EU4 starts, this is pretty close to the same borders between the factions, so I don't know. Yeah, more religions is always fun. That's why, yeah. Pagan knightly order. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. So with that, I think we can leave that and just do one last overview of the. Yeah, is there any dev responses to interesting things here? The problem with our feedbacks. Devs did actually respond to these? Oh god, no, these aren't dev responses to it. Yeah, they probably just had like one post. Oh no, did I? I think I read these. Yeah, I did read these. Yeah, I guess there isn't much left to be said then. Yeah, I'm curious about how knightly orders and other building-based countries can theoretically spawn post-game start, you know? I wonder how that would work. If it works at all. But with that, I think that we can end this here podcast for the day. So, I thank you all for watching, and hope to see you next time where, what the heck? Oh, it's Arabia. Doing Arabia on Friday.
Yep.
Yes, we're talking about the map of Arabia. So thank you all for watching. Hope to see you then. And I guess I'll also try to talk about CK3 a bit tomorrow. So, see if I can't make that happen. Bye-bye!